Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lamar Gafford,
I'm Robert Brown.
and we're once again on the Gafford and Brown Show, episode number 51. Today, we're going to be talking about the divisional playoffs, Charlie Strong, and anything else that's also going on in the sports world, and also probably try to update you on some NBA games as they go on. The first thing that we really want to talk about is going to be about the divisional playoffs. Um, Four good games. Hopefully, we'll try to recapture the magic as we had last week. Is there any game that really stands out in front of you that you really want to watch, Rob?
Um, Probably the Saints and Seattle matchup, just because the odds seem to be so stacked against New Orleans. We know the history with Seattle. This year they were blown out. Was it 3 years ago? They
Yes.
played the Seahawks, and it was a pretty embarrassing loss in Seattle. So, I mean, the stakes are high for Seattle. I mean, for New Orleans. I mean, can they get past Seattle? So that's been my most interesting plot line. What about you?
I think the one that's really stands out that I want to see is I'll probably go ahead and say maybe the same game, but just to be a little bit different. Broncos Chargers. I mean, I kind of want to see how does Peyton Manning do out there in the cold weather facing against Philip Rivers, which seems like I said before, it seems to have a rejuvenance right now, and he's pretty much as hot as any quarterback is right now.
Right, yeah, he's pretty on fire right now. And that was a team. They're a team that I was kind of not necessarily scared about, but I had them on my radar, and I never once really counted them out. I didn't see them making the playoffs, but I saw them being competitive. And once they got in, I was thinking to myself like they could really make a run because they're just so up and down. You really can't put too much faith in them. But yeah, I'm interested to watch that game, but more so because I'm a fan of Denver, more so than I guess the plot
Mm-hmm.
line. I don't know. It's it's interesting, but at the same time, I think that I really want to see how the Saints go against Seattle. I really want to see if they can pull it off because I just think if they lose to Seattle again, it's like, man, can they ever get over Seattle? It's I don't know. It's starting to become a rivalry almost, a
There's
lopsided rivalry.
a lot of questions are to be asked right now for the Saints, and they kind of answered some of those last week against Philadelphia, but this is really the test here because uh, Philly does have its fans. Seattle is one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL, one of the loudest, and you know they get behind their team no matter what, whether losing or winning or anything. Seattle, if they lose this game, of course, it'd be the one seed and all, getting the chance to lose. But I don't think the stakes are as high as they are in New Orleans, like you said. Now, the other two games that we have as well, the other game on Saturday is going to be the Colts traveling to New England to play against the Patriots. It's going to feel like old times, but with a twist.
Yeah, with a different guy instead of Peyton Manning with Andrew Luck. Um, this is tricky for me. I think New England is in an awkward situation because, in my eyes, they're the underdog because I just think the Colts are better prepared than a lot of teams to beat New England because they have a defense, a developing running game, and Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton seem to be pretty good together. But at the same time, I mean, the strength of the Patriots has always been their game planning. So I'm pretty sure that they're watching film now and they're going to be prepared. But at the same time, I just don't think they have enough firepower to put away the Colts if it got to that. But I don't know. It's hard because you can never count them out. So it's a tricky game, a hard game to pick, really.
Right, and it's just seeing how the Colts did last week, coming back from 29 down, was one thing. Uh, I guess now the other thing is they have enough energy to come back in there, and I feel like that they will. They do. They're young. They're a young team out there. Again, it's Tom Brady. At the end of the day, uh, This is a guy that you do not want to give the ball last, and especially in a close game situation because he will rip your heart out, unless you're Carolina, of course.
Right.
But he will rip your heart out, and it's just what he does. It's just what he does, and I think that's going to be a pretty good game as well. Um, I guess we'll see here. Does if Andrew Luck wins, of course he goes to the AFC Championship game, or if pretty much Tom Brady does, we could see ourselves another Manning Brady matchup, and that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to watch. Specifically with Denver because if they get past San Diego, they still have that embarrassing loss to New England earlier this year, well last year, where they get 24-0 lead. So I'm pretty sure they want redemption. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna see how that goes. Then we have the most, I think, the game that a lot of people are forgetting about, kind of with Carolina and San Francisco.
Yeah, and that game earlier in the season, Carolina came into San Fran, beat them 10-9. But now it seems like San Francisco's getting a little bit of a run here. It should be a pretty good matchup between two good defenses, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, this is going to be a field goal battle, probably like last time. It'll be a low-scoring affair. Um, I'm anxious to see which quarterback breaks out first because both of them have had kind of slow starts some of these games, so that'll be interesting to see. And both of these defenses are pretty hard-nosed.
Right. Like you said, you got on one side here, very good linebacker and Luke Kuechly with Carolina, and you also have Patrick Willis out there for San Francisco. Once again, it's pretty much going to be one of those quarterbacks that can run pretty well. It's going to also come down to the running backs. It's just going to have a good feel to it, and stuff. It just really would have a good feel to it, I know.
Right. I'm anxious to see how Cam is gonna perform in this game without Steve Smith because the last time they played he was a factor. So we'll see how that goes.
Right. And, of course, having Mike Crabtree in there, too,
Yeah.
could skew things a little bit to the Niners' way.
Right. Exactly. Especially with him, being the primary target. So it's going to be an interesting game. Like I said, I'm not expecting that many points to be scored, at least touchdowns. So it's going to be a defensive game, probably with primarily the running games being a focal point.
Right. So, pretty much, I guess now it just comes down to what's going to be our decision and what's going to be our picks and stuff. And we'll start off with Seattle, San Francisco. Seattle, New Orleans. My bad. Jumping the gun a little bit.
Word. Seattle, New Orleans. Gosh, it'd be fun to pick New Orleans and fun to see them upset Seattle, but I'm taking Seattle. They're the favorite for a reason, and New Orleans hasn't been able to shake them. And I mean, we saw them struggle last week against Philly. If Drew Brees goes to Seattle and makes those mistakes, then it's going to be a long day. So I'm taking Seattle.
Seattle, and I think it could be in the 10-point range variety. Like you said, especially if Breeze does not, if Breeze comes out a little shaky. I do not like New Orleans' chances, especially there, and they have a couple of ball hawking, players in the secondary that can make Breeze pay for those mistakes dearly. So, Seattle's got this one. The next game, Indianapolis against New England.
I'm gonna take the underdog. I'm gonna take the team that's not expected to really win. I'm taking Indianapolis. I think they get the upset against Brady. I think they have a certain swagger about them. I think they feel like they belong in the conversation as far as elite teams and as far as Super Bowl contenders. So I'm picking them.
I'm gonna go with New England in this one. I just probably will go with the old guard here. Here's another thing that's going to make this matchup another interesting part of this matchup. Deion Branch is with the Colts now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, just signed it yesterday, so that could have something. That could have something to do with it. He's not going to be. I didn't know either. I didn't know either until I saw it, but I don't think he's going to be too much of a factor, really. But I think New England's going to win this game. But it would be close. It would be close by like 3 points. Carolina, San Francisco.
I'm picking San Fran. San Fran because Crabtree is back, and he's been a huge difference maker for them. So I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be the one player that breaks away, gets that one big play because only one big play is needed in this game. I think it's gonna be a battle of field goals and field position mostly. So I give it to San Fran because of their big play ability.
Yeah, I think San Francisco's gonna. I think San Francisco's got this one as well. Once again, I think as I said in the previous show, they've been experienced in these situations. They made the Super Bowl run last year. They went to the NFC Championship game the year before. Obviously without Kaepernick, but most of those players did do that. So I think they're experienced, and since this is the first rodeo for Carolina, this is going to be a chance for them to learn how playoff football is. I don't expect them to roll over and play dead, but at least they're going to give themselves a pretty good matchup. I feel like they'll probably lose by 7 points, though. Something like that. Last but not least, Denver against San Diego.
I picked Denver to win, not by much. I'm thinking maybe a 24-21 game. None of the games this year have gone past 30, I believe. So I think it's going to be in the 20s. I think it's going to be a tough game. Peyton might throw an interception or two. But I think that's the outcome. 24-21 Denver. And Seattle puts up a good fight, but Denver holds on.
I got to say Denver 2. Again, it's going to be closer than what you may think. I say about between 3 and 7 points once again. But I could see a chance for San Diego to probably pull it out. Just don't think it's going to happen. So I'll just go ahead and say I think Denver's going to go ahead and win the game. They do. If they don't, at least we might see another Bolo tie from Phillip Rivers. So I don't know. Here, so that would be interesting to see about that. Once again, if you want to call in and you want to give your predictions, you can call our standalone number at 408-657-0506. That's 408-657-0506. You can either tweet us at Uptown Bobby or Primetime 2832, or you can go contact us on Skype, Primetime 2832. Get your voices heard and pretty much just get them heard and all that stuff. I guess now talking a little bit more about the NFL, and looks like we got maybe a few more firings and also a few more people being safe right now. Go out to Oakland. Dennis Allen's job is actually safe.
I can see that. I mean, he hasn't been there that long, and they need consistency. One of the reasons why they're in this hole is because they keep changing coaches so often. So I would say, yeah, he deserves another year or so. I mean, they need to build a pattern of winning at least.
It's just anything. It's just anything. They just need something right now.
Right.
They have not made it to the Super Bowl since.
They haven't
made it to the playoffs since they made that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
it's been pretty bad.
It's been bad. Sometimes hard times in Oakland, and it's just you kind of feel, in a way, and I know you probably don't because you're a Broncos fan. That's your chief rival, but it's like you kind of feel bad for them because once again they're one of those historical franchises that. When you go back to the 80s, well, the 70s especially, the three teams in the AFC that you think of are Dolphins,